What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. In this one, we are going to be talking about how being too nice will destroy your life as a man. Now, I want to start this video off by telling you guys a little bit of a story of back when I first started my fitness coaching business. 3 years ago, I quit my job and dropped out of school to pursue fitness coaching full time. And I was way too nice of a person when I first started my business. Often people will say that business will burn the niceness out of you, and I learned this the hard way. So I would start coaching people. They would be paying me for my services. They would be seeing great results, losing a lot of fat, building a lot of muscle. And then they would run into some misfortune in their lives. And they would say, hey, Brandon, I can't pay you for coaching this month, but I want to continue working with you because I'm seeing great results. So I'll pay you back later. Like, let me build up a tab with you. And me, being the naive coach that I was, just jumping into things, being very, very committed to seeing people change, and really feeling like I had a genuine, good connection with these people, thinking that they would tell the truth, thinking that they genuinely appreciated me as a coach, I agreed to this. And I said, you know what, that's okay. We'll put your payments on pause and I will continue to coach you for free because this is clearly something that you need. You've already run into this other, situation of misfortune that has caused you to not be able to pay for my coaching. Let me help you out a little bit and give you my service and you can pay me back later, all right? So that was the agreement. And a large amount of these people, I would say probably to the tune of 75%, 3 out of every 4, ended up eventually completely ghosting me. They left me with thousands of dollars and tons of hours that I had poured into them with zero payment. They had not paid me at all for the hours that I had put into coaching them over months and months and months. All of that time down the drain, thousands of dollars taken away from my business because I thought that these people were friends. I thought that these other men would stick to their word. I thought that everyone else would operate with principles. I myself, I'm a man that if I owed another man money, I couldn't focus. I wouldn't be able to focus. I would be constantly working on trying to get that man paid back, especially knowing that they're doing their service for me. And yet what you will learn is there are a lot of men that want to try to get as much as they possibly can out of others and out of life without doing anything in return. They'll take, and take. They refuse to give. They refuse to live by principles. They refuse to keep their word. It doesn't mean anything for them. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I have a conscience. These men operate differently. They don't see it the same way. They live their life under a different set of principles. And so if you try to be nice, you are going to get burned as a man. You need to understand human nature. You need to understand the fallenness that is in every single other man when you go out into the world and start developing relationships and having interactions with others. You need to be a realist. Do not be naive. If you are going to be naive, in a fallen world, you are going to be taken advantage of. I see it time and time and again. I've experienced it time and time and again. And what you need to understand is that being too nice is actually going to turn you into a worse person. Because a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to be as nice as I possibly can be. And if I just keep being nice, what's going to happen? I'll just keep being nice no matter what. No matter what happens. I'm telling you right now, that's not how it works. You cannot keep this up because you are going to run into the people that take advantage of you, the people that take, and take some more. And eventually, when you experience that betrayal, you will start to show contempt. You will start to build up bitterness inside of your heart. You will start to hate people as that bitterness starts to continue to overflow. And then, even those who don't deserve your hatred, you will start to hate. You will start to hate everybody. You will start to hate the human race. So stop being nice now so that you can be a better person in the future. You may think that you're doing a good thing, being incredibly nice to everybody that you meet, but I promise you, in the long run, when you get burned, it will make you a worse person and you will hate people more. So what I need you to do is I need you to have principles. And I need you to have boundaries. And I need you to go out of your way to enforce them. You cannot let yourself get walked all over, especially with friends and with family. Oftentimes, these are the people that can take advantage of you the most, are the people that are closest to you. Learn to live by a code, all right? I don't give money to anyone. If they ask me, they say, Brandon, can I have a couple $1,000s? Like, I'm kind of in the hole this month. I need to pay for this. I need to pay for that. No, I'm sorry. I don't care if you're a friend. I don't care if you are my family. That's a principle that I live by. I'm not going to give you money, because down the road, that is going to complicate the relationship. I don't want to find myself in a situation where I am bitter at you because you act off of a different set of principles than I do. Because if I give you that money, I am going to hold you to my principles. And my principles that I hold myself to are harsh. They are hard. So what you need to understand is that I am living by a code, and I will be kind. I will always show that kindness up front, but I will always be aware, and I will never let people walk over me. And you need to do the same exact thing. Women are constantly too nice. They live in a world where that's just how they operate. In fact, when I'm talking about these people that are way too nice, you're probably thinking of a woman in your life that you can think of who you look at and you're like, that person is just way too nice. This is why women get taken advantage of so often. And what does it do? It creates this bitterness. It creates this hardness that makes women more masculine. We don't want that. We don't want masculine women. We don't want damaged women. We want women that are innocent. Women that are shielded and protected from the harsh reality of the world. That is the beauty of feminine nature. That ability to be too nice. And so it's imperative that you, if you are in a relationship, you need to be the realist. You need to be the cautious one. You need to be the bad guy, the untrusting one in the relationship. If a woman has ever told you, oh, you're just being so untrusting, you say, I don't really like this person. They just give me a bad vibe. And they say, stop being so untrusting. That's not very nice to say that you don't think that they're a very good person or that you get a weird vibe from them. That's not very nice of you. You need to be the realist. You need to be the one that understands how the world works. You need to be the bad guy sometimes. You need to be the cautious one. You need to be the untrusting one. To protect the innocent feminine from the cruel, harsh reality. And that, my friends, is the sacrifice of leadership, of being a man. Because you take that hardship, you take the burden of the evil world onto yourself. That is the goal. That should be the role that you play in a relationship, is protecting your girlfriend, protecting your wife, protecting your family. Because with power comes responsibility. It's a harsh world, and your job is to shield some of the other people in your life from it. The people that are easily going to be crushed, the people that are going to be changed when they come into contact with that darkness. That is part of your job as a man. So you need to harden yourself, not only for yourself so you don't get walked all over, but you need to harden yourself for others as well. Often the most cruel men out there, the ones that you meet that are just almost downright evil, were once incredibly nice, loving, and compassionate people. But time and reality, it stiffens the neck. When I run into these people personally, I try to show compassion to them. I think, who hurt you? Or what did you used to be like before something happened that turned you into this incredibly angry person who goes around throwing their bitterness like rocks at other people? These people are miserable to be around. You don't want to become that person. Like I said at the very beginning, these people that are bitterness and contempt incarnate used to be extremely nice. Oftentimes they were too nice, and they were used and abused by others, and that's what brought them to where they are today. A quarter of the men in America grow up without a father. It's 25% of Americans in a first world country grow up without a father. And a lot of them are taught the compassionate, loving nature of the feminine, the all-embracive, loving nature of the feminine, but they remain uneducated to the strong, stern, commanding, and confrontational aspects of the masculine. I get young men coming to me, they say, hey, I grew up without a dad. I don't know how to be confrontational. They're like, my relationships suffer because of it. I can't set boundaries. People walk all over me. My friends walk all over me. My family walks all over me. I can't be confrontational. I can't tell them, hey, stop that. I can't draw the line in the sand. I never learned how to. It's part of the masculinity crisis that we are dealing with. Is men are just simply too nice. They become more feminized. They've been told that niceness is a male virtue that needs to be cultivated. No. Be kind as a man. It's not your job to be nice. It's your job to protect and to provide. And in order to do that, you have to be a shield. Value wisdom and value realism. And this really shows in the party differences in the United States. So we've got the conservatives and we've got the liberals. And what you see is that as people tend to grow older, they tend to become more conservative. The liberals are the people who are constantly trying to make progress in certain areas. They're progressives, they're the dreamers. The conservatives are the realists. They're the ones who are constantly saying, hey, no, this is how it actually works. These are the facts. This is human nature. But the progressives are constantly pushing the boundaries, trying to make people as nice as possible, trying to get people to be as accepting and as tolerant as possible. You can see these differences in the class system. So what you need to do is you need to value wisdom, and you need to understand that as you get older, you will start to become more in tune with how things really work, with how the world works. As a man, you need to value that wisdom and you need to value that realism, that realistic perspective of the world. You can't be living in fairy tale land. And understand that it's okay to be the bad guy sometimes. Like, it's okay to be intolerant. That's totally fine. Like, if you don't like a person, don't be around them. Like, cut people off. You have the ability to control your environment. That's part of the beauty of being a man. Control your environment. If you don't like being around someone, I don't care if they're family, friends, don't be around them. You have no obligation to be around them. Leave. Part of your free will as a man is having the ability to exercise the ability to separate yourself from any situation. Don't let the social pressures of having manners neuter you. Don't let it cut your balls off. Because what you'll understand, and this is the last point that I really, really want to drive home, nice people love to use virtue signaling and manners in order to control people in society. Does that make sense? So you are actually being controlled through manners and being nice by the very people that are virtue signaling and promoting niceness. It's a different way of going about controlling people. It's a dishonest way of going about getting what they want through virtue signaling and telling you, oh, you need to be as tolerant as possible. You need to be as nice as you possibly can to everybody. If you don't want to be around somebody that's wrong of you, you need to fix yourself. This is how nice people control men. You need to understand that your way of imprinting on the world, your way of doing things needs to come from an honest perspective. You need to be truthful. You need to be confrontational. You should not be using these manipulative, dishonest tactics in order to control others. That's manipulation, all right? With men, you need to be able to have that confrontation. And a lot of that comes from practice. It sounds funny, but you have to actively practice confrontation as a man in today's society. Like, you have to. Because most men don't run into these situations where they have to be confrontational, so you have to practice it. You have to actively go out of your way to establish your boundaries and enforce them, your principles, and to go out of your way to live by them. Don't let the world wash you away. And don't let this idea that you have to be nice and that you have to have manners, don't let that control you. Go be strong. Be confrontational. Be imposing. And protect yourself as well as those around you. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. Make sure to drop a like down below. If you watched all the way through to the end of this video, make sure to drop a singular thumbs up in the comment section. That means that you have got a attention span of steel, my friend. And that's very impressive. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace.